Good morning. Thank you for paying attention on our study. My name is Eva from STEM project at Southern Methodist University in Dallas, and this project is supported by National Science Foundation. Our team members are across 3 different areas, which are computer scientists, game designers, and learning scientists. Today, Paul and I are going to present our part of progressing work, a standard composition process to inform the development of game-based learning environment focused on computational thinking. Before I turn into the introduction of our research, I'd like to talk about the definition of Cte we followed in this study. As the highlighted part, we focus on student thought process when they are confronted with a problem that can be formulated into steps and ask them to create the solution can be automatically executed by machine or replicated by humans. Since many studies exist focusing on Cte through programming and coding, there's a need to build Cte more broadly to encourage students to think and practice and make the connections among Cte skills. So, stealth and immersive learning will be the good approaches to motivate them since students prefer more interactive and less linear approach to learning now. That's on Sharp's argument. Stealth learning is when an instructor uses disguised ways to introduce learning objectives through non-traditional tools such as games to encourage students to learn. Therefore, we thought game-based learning could motivate students to learn and experience a state of flow, contributing to the immersive learning experience for middle grades to develop Cte skills. The goal of our project is to extract assessment evidence of learning during immersive gameplay, building on existing work. In the project, we are connecting the Canvas learning management system to an adapted instance of Minecraft and a custom planning application through Amazon Web Services. By using the standard composition processes and incorporating educator feedback, our research question for this study is that, what are the evidence of learning and mastery for 3 middle grade Cte standards relating to data analysis? The result will be used to inform embedded assessment opportunities within the game. We utilize design-based implementation research as the approach for this study, and we are currently focused on the phase of game development. Before drafting the standard composition tables, we identified the focus Cte standards with educator advisory panel. This paper will report the work we had done on 3 of the focus standards. To provide the information for game designers, learning scientists started from decomposing Cte data analysis standards. 6 steps were executed to provide sufficient information and support for game development. Step 1 and 2 were to review relevant curricular resources and drafted standard composition tables. Step 3, reconciled differences across tables. Step 4, gather educators' feedback through virtual meeting and follow-up feedback opportunity. Step 5, integrated the feedback. Step 6, check again with EAP by using a synchronous feedback opportunity. We define critical and relevant attributions for the standard composition tables. You can see the part that is marked by blue square. Identify iterative steps within a standard, which suggests an order for the cognitive processes that students might engage in related to the overall standards. Next, we define importance or objectives for each steps. Then we consider the knowledge, skills, and abilities that students would need to prerequisite to develop as evidence of learning or evidence that they are progressing toward mastery within each step of the standard composition. The knowledge, skills, and abilities is that students would need to develop as evidence of mastery. Next, Paul will present the rest of slides. Paul, please.
Great. Thank you, Eva. So an example here to focus on evidence of learning and mastery. A core standard of these three, which is 2DA08. Collect data using computational tools and transform the data to make it more useful and reliable. So the 4 steps we identified underneath this standard are collect data, clean data, organize data, and explain data. So for example, example EOL here, or evidence of learning for clean data, is how to make decisions about handle missing data in your data set. And that would then ultimately translate into evidences of mastery around comparing cleaning strategies with your peer group students to identify the strengths and weaknesses of each approach. Next slide, please. We sought feedback from our educator advisory panel. The feedback was very constructive, and for example, the need to make sure we have students do things in multiple ways to build fluency. Educators definitely appreciated lots of examples in those standards, and also making sure that we aligned the language between goals and evidences. The feedback was very rich. We increased our content, if you like, roughly 2 times, and a lot of statements also were further clarified. And this is a living approach, so we continue to evolve these standards and build them out. Next slide, please. So basically, we've developed a standard decomposition process, and focused on incorporating assessment opportunities, really trying to make computational thinking behaviors observable and informing what students should be doing. And we continue to build out these tables using the DBER approach. Next slide, please. So our next steps is we're already started cognitive walkthroughs to test usability of the game and really making sure that the game is contributing towards our ultimate goal. And that will include walkthroughs around the learning management system to make sure we're getting teachers what they need as well as the students. Next slide, please. So this is the extended team. Here's our emails. We definitely would welcome follow-up questions, any clarifications, and would definitely ask you to check out our paper. So thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to our follow-up discussion.